Hi people, my name is Eleni. I am a writer and painter from Spanish heritage. I'm living in Denmark and I want to talk about AI and the art of writing. Something is very polemic in our days, but I think that the two can be in many ways partners and help us do our job, our uh, hard work better. The use of artificial intelligence or something close to that is not new. I think the chat GPT that came recently to be a boom on the market that makes we talk more about artificial intelligence. But the truth is, we have been using it for a long time. The uh, orthograph correctors that are embedded in our word processors and the simple tools we use in our days to help us write better are some kind of artificial intelligence. Not like is defined by the builders of it, but it looks like. Uh, what is artificial intelligence indeed? It's a simulation of human intelligence, but it's not like human intelligence, at least for now. They have a lot of data inside. There are trillions of data points on each chatbot that are capable to connect the dots and create something that's simulate that is look like that human intelligence. It's a mimic. They are imitating. They are not creating anything from nothing like we. We saw are capable to saw a flower and then create it to, all imaginary stuff about it. I not doing this for now. I think that with the interaction of humans with AI, maybe we can get close and close and close, but I never can see in a right way. We totally threw our life in the on the hands, the virtual hands of AI. I hope we don't do that. I hope we don't do that. Why? We have the tendency to get addicted at things like that. Like we get addicted to our mobile phone is the easiness of tools that make it in our lives easier. Uh, I hope we don't get addicted to it. We need to use it in a very specific and creative way, not to substitute what we are, but to make what we are better. As I already said, AI is not something new, but is a process that is evolving during the time. Everything began with rudimentary tools like spell checkers and in-word processor. I think it was the first step for that. Over time, these tools have advanced to become sophisticated models capable of generating human-like tasks. Uh, I don't know if you are already trying any word text generator chat box. What I noticed in my research until now is that most of them tended to write in a repetitive and mechanical way. It's difficult to not notice in a text that it is not AE generate if you are a writer, because when you read, you are looking for the human soul inside the words. Even it's a technical book, you are always looking for something that is personal, that is the author character. In a it's a journalist style in a news or a piece of an article from a engineer or a scientist. It's interesting that when you read the first draft from a AI text, you can see the lack of a soul, of emotions, of everything. Even they use sophisticated words, or they use complex structure, but in the end, they are always the same. A repetition of the same story. Of course, there are ways to train it to make it better, but again, you need to improve it yourself to sound like you, to be like you, to be you. So if you need to work so hard to make AI act like you, AI is not a human, at least until now. Another interesting evolution, I think everything begins in the 60s, last century, when the natural uh, human language, we have, you see, you are hearing me now, and I'm very spontaneous on my talk, very, I put pauses on there are no pauses, I scramble words sometimes, because I am just talking without a pre-written script. Maybe people like this kind of pre-written script. I'm not. I don't. I like to be spontaneous on my talking, because my idea is, say, I'm talking about what I learn and what I know. The rest you can conclude yourself or research yourself. So from spell checkers, from writing one question and have a sophisticated answer, we have a lot of time passing by, but not that much. You see, how long you took humanity to develop writing, or to develop the press, to have our books in large quantities, or to develop the typewriting to substitute the pen, or the computer. You see, it's all evolving process, and IE is another step, as I see. I decided to talk about ChatGPT version 4 because I think it's the most talked chatbot in our media and social medias today. Uh, it was developed by OpenAI, and that is a partner of Microsoft. Uh, and it is a prime example of AI models. Uh, I use ChatGPT 4 to find words that I want to, how I say, transform in a different way. We are not the depository of all human vocabulary in all language. Even our mother tongue, in my case, Portuguese, and Spanish, we can't have all the words of put inside our memory and recall them when we need it. We needed dictionaries. I use a lot of them. We need grammatical books. We need a lot of things. So I could help on this. For example, if I write something and I want to turn this a little bit more sophisticated or a little more natural, I can use it. And ChatGPT 4 is very useful for that. I was a user from ChatGPT 3.5. I didn't know didn't have any contact with the uh, anterior versions. I worked here at 3.5, then now I'm working with 4. There are interesting parts of my workload. For example, if I want information from a country or a place or food or anything. For example, yesterday, or I went to see some special recipes from Sicily, and I asked for Chat GPT, and he gave me some possibilities. Um, I was trying to write a paragraph about Turkey, and I want some better words than the ones I was using. I asked for him, for the chat GPT, and he gave me something interesting. But it wasn't perfect. I need to work over it to put my soul, my style, my way of say things over it. But I got some interesting words that normally I didn't use on my writing. That's I see a great opportunity for we improve our writing. Don't mind if for social media marketing or for your school essay or whatever. It's a great tool to improve our writing, to help us to open for new words, new structures, of course. One thing I have to say, don't trust it. I asked about a city in Turkey, and they gave me a lot of information. Half of them was not true, was created by him, including some links that ChatGPT-4 created from nothing. But at least now the bot said, "Oh, this I create for illustration. It's not a real link." Become better. Before I have not this advice, this warning about the possibility that what the bot was writing was something he create from nothing or hallucination, as people say. The ethical use. We know that the bots, the chat bots, they collect a lot of information that we humans produce until now. So what I know sometimes, they ChatGPT brings answers or make texts that are copy of other books that I read. I can see the same words, the same structure, the same rhythm in the writing. So it's complicated if you are create something new, and you suddenly you just discover that you know actually what you think it was your creation together with an AI was something copied from another writer or another person. So we need some control about that. People should have control, so where is coming from that information. If that information is from someone like another author or another research, we need to be careful to not use the produce of the bot in a unethical way. Okay, I think that OpenAI is making a good word trying to avoid this ethical problem. They are trying to make the bot more and more a collector like us. We collect information since we are born, and we go collecting, and this activates our imagination. For example, if you travel a lot, you have a lot of information on other places, but you not copy. You create your through your emotions, your vision for that place. I did it with my book, The Silence of Winter, that it's like a travelogue for my experience in Turkey in 2011. So I didn't copy a travel guide, or I just pick up information from what I live there, and put on a book with photos and things like that. OpenAI is trying to do its best for, if I ask, for example, I want information about Hagia Sophia. They don't give me a text that is in a travel book or another travel log. Something more technical maybe, but not a copy. Okay? So technology evolves. We know that. And the chatbots are evolving quickly. So you need to take a lot of care about it. We have use it with conscience. So we have to avoid uh, believe believe that AI is the solution for our problems. I think it's a good tool, amazing tool, not safety enough. I think in the future we're gonna have something more reliable. The technology is there. We have quantum computing, neural networks. We have a lot of uh, physics and structures around the AI. But I think we need to be careful to use it in a very, very uh, ethical way. For example, students should avoid just put their essay there. Oh, I want to essay about atomic bomb, and get the result and put on their Word formatting and put it as was their product. It wasn't, and they are not clear if it is correct, if it is useful, if that essay is true. So we don't need more conspiracy theories created by AI. We don't need more untrue spread around the world in essays from students that are lazy enough to just not read what was wrote and not see if that was true, that words are pertinent, if the result is ethical, are not plagiarized, not a copy from something. That's important. As you can see, I have a video here that shows uh, my writing style analyzed by the chat GPT. And today there are some tools that people will use to improve or to help them improve their writing. Grammarly that I use is good, and recently Grammarly incorporate ChatGPT-4 on their core. We have Quillbot, another tools for I never use it. Maybe other people use it. I never use it. I use Grammarly. I feel comfortable with Grammarly. But the same problem is here. Grammarly is a very useful for grammar, for punctuation, but sometimes they just lose themselves and try to change what's right. Try to give you a word that didn't fit on your context, or try to substitute something that you want to emphasize in that way. One point, Grammarly hates ellipses. So sometimes they remove my ellipses on my text, but it's a ellipse that means a pause, the thinking of the character. It's strange, it's curious, but I like Grammarly a lot, and I like. There are some books, and some probably people already read about use of AI in as a character in literature. I think the first one, 2001, I Space Odyssey, I don't need to talk much about because the, the it's a very no uh, or piece of work of Clark. So the idea is if the AI can suppress human intelligence and suddenly just decide for us if we should live or we should die, what we should be. It's interesting. Romance, another interesting book about AI and the importance of internet in a general way. Another one is Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Another story about a colony in the moon, and we that revolts against the ruler from Earth. Another interesting portrait of a AI, in this guy's name Mike, who becomes self-aware, and the how I say the consequence of that. They are that obvious. The androids. Do androids dream of electric sheep? It's a very interesting novel about the post-apocalypse near future. We have a global nuclear war, and Earth's life was totally damaged. So now we work with robots and androids and things like that. And the questions that book arises are related to AI and ethics. Two things that should be together, AI and ethics. Another famous book, I, Robot. I love this book. Uh, a collection of short stories, but it's very, very interesting about the ethical, again, discussion about AI. Ex Machina, a novel that follows a younger programmer that administrated the Turing test to an intelligent humanoid robot. And then I think that is a deep exploration of what to be human means, and the ethic of try to transfer our humanity, our for the AI. It's very interesting. Most of the literature where AI are portrayed are always that discussion about the when the bot become aware, become a person, an individual, and began to have his own idea, turning sentient and making decisions that are out of our hands. Do you think that is possible? I think it is. I think sooner or later we're gonna have AI. We already have something like that, but it's still in our hands the final decision. It's very interesting. These three books: The Life Cycle of Software Objects, The Sea of Rust, and all systems red could be a good introduction to this discussion about consciousness and ethics and AI in our world. More three suggestions of books that could be a great open mind to about consciousness, memory, AI, and the relation with the humanity. Speak, autonomous, and iRobot to protect. These are three articles that I suggest you to give a read. If you want to go deeper, I put the links on my YouTube and my web page as well. You can read it there. This presentation is on my web page as well. If you can download, if you want to download it, okay? And read it. The most important thing for a writer, for a human, is inform themselves. It's be aware of what is happening around you. It's don't trust in the information you are receiving, but compare different source of information. I think the most difficult thing when we talk about AI is that the people are making AI and the people that are already using it to substitute or to put in the place of humans are totally hooked about it. They are not concerned about if it gonna bring some problems, ethical or even dangerous problems about information. They just see that the money is coming from the creation and the use, and doesn't import too much if the result in the future is different what they are seeing now. I really think we need to open a conversation, a deep conversation about that, not only with the top dirigents in the world, governments, but with people. People need to speak out about their impression, their fears, their not understanding of this new technology, and who control it, who will control it, how it gonna be controlled. Good question, right? I can discuss that AI has its benefits for the writing. For example, it can improve grammar, your style. For example, you want to learn how to make a more engaging style or a more fictional style or a literary style. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, you can test easily with AI. You can write something, put in an AI in, ask to change for some different style that what you hold. You can test coherence, the outline, if the outline of your writing is coherent, is okay, it's makes sense. So the quality of your writing will improve. But you can then depend upon of the UI, okay? You can become a slave of it. Another thing that AI can fast generate text. So, for example, you have a timeline, short timeline. You need to write some article about vitamin A, for example. So you can do it using a chatbot. Why? Because first is a technical text. Normally, technical texts are better reading by the eye than creative texts. Second, the most of the research the chatbot will give you, but see, you can just copy and paste. You need to see if the information given is true. True and facts are important. Not, we are in a world, and true and facts are not more so important. I see it all around the world, but we writers should still fight for the truth and the facts all the time. I have been here about the bias of the AI. AI is not biased. What is biased is the data we input on them. Our civilization is biased. We are biased against skin color. We are biased against accents. We are biased against nationalities, religious, lifestyles, sexuality. We are biased about everything because each one of us has the tendency to see the world on our own lenses that were created when we are kids, we are infants, child, and these lenses normally come from our parents and our friends and our school and the small society we live around. I don't know which book I read once that in the lifetime span of a person normally will have a contact, a contact that go along to say hi or bye for 2,000 people. So in your life, 2,000 people will come and give you information and give you visions and give you a lot of things. And it's too little. We are so much different. And these people normally are close to you, 100 kilometers maximum. So they have the same environment, the same inputs, the same visions that you have. You never accept in your inner circle, let's see like that, people that are different from you. This is one kind of bias. We fear what's different. We fear who has socialist think, for example. People conservative that think the socialist is a monster, and people who are from one religion think the people of the other religion are monsters. There are no monsters. There are humans, and the AI only captured this and transform in outputs that we call bias, but the bias comes from us, from our data. Another thing, it's important you let clear when you use AI as writing, as a tool for writing. You can get all the rights about something that was used, created by another firm. For example, I never put something right so about sadness, or write a story about a man that loses his mind and let the AI create it. First is I don't like what they created. Are very boring most part of time. And second, it's not me. You see, it's not my writing. It's not my ideas. It's not I see a man who lose his mind. And the reason I picture for a man that loses his mind, for example, he was far from his family and then he went crazy, absolutely crazy, because he was alone and he was fragile, he was weak, and feel that he was drifting in a black hole, and then he lose his mind. It's that my imagination, but AI would not think like me. He think that he lose his mind because he's lost a child or because he was without a job. So it's important that the writing come from you and you put over the IE changes or the IE rewriting of you, what do you think? You again. It's always about the writer. It's all about the human. Another thing that people are talking about losing jobs. Yes, some jobs will be losing. some jobs we will be losing. We be lost. I'm sorry. We lost some jobs. It's the real thing. You see, for example, when come the any new technology, for example, when it comes the first computer, oh, everybody gonna be uh, lay out because well, the computer will take your place. It wasn't what happened. It was some bumps, but then we change. Today, computers are absolutely okay for most of us. Then came another new things. The, and we still here. We still do things. I think that's the big problem in our adaptation for the new stuff that open that appear in the world and the technological world and society world is that the most important institution that are the educational institution is still the same, very close to the one of the 19th century. It's the only one institution that resists fiercely against any technology change, any social change, any structural change. And we are in the brink of have a big change with AI, and education system will collapse if they don't change. So we need to take care. Teachers need to stop to think that we are the only container of knowledge. Actually, what they contain is humanity, and this social uh, perception that what human is and how human act and facts and how to interpret and to understand and to put this technology in a disposition of other people, and the teachers are important. Fact is uh, data. Data, AI can give me tons. Any a research on Google can give me more information than a teacher have on their minds. So it's time to change. People are talking now about change to uh, learning system learn. I have used system learn since 1995 and works. I'm quite works. I was a person that was a teacher and think that the what we have to teach our children, our teenagers, our young is how to do things by themselves, how to think, how to create, how to pick up what they have and transform in something better. And not who was Henry the 80, how many wives they have. This is not important. I can read about it or ask for chat GPT about it. But we need to put on the young people that AI is not a substitute for reading books, to live outside with nature, to travel, to contact with other people. And we need to improve this in our educational system. We need to improve collaborative work. We need to improve a lot of things. AI could help with the basics, but we need to work to get things better. We can disagree that the future gonna be more complicated because the tools, the chatbots, gonna be more and more and more precise in a generation or integration between them, and more writing platforms gonna appear. Trends are gonna change. And writers and the industry of writing need to be prepared for that. We need ethics, we need rules, we need clarity. We need to not in our greed to have more money, in our greed to produce more, in our greed to be the first, we need to not forget that people are more important than anything and than everything. We need do better for people. If I should be something positive and not another crazy tendency that you make humanity more crazy than it is. Here's a short example how I uh, using ChatGTP to generate some stuff. I I did I put my style, then I put some text and asked ChatGPT to generate uh, something about my right style, to describe it, to do something, to say, it's interesting. Observe yourself for the vision of AI. This is more a conversation than a really presentation. I put a lot of words here about everything I think and where IE can or cannot be useful, or people are doing art with IE. I don't see any problems. There are a painter that are are creating magnificent art with data. He puts data in a AI environment and then transform that data in art. It's very interesting because sometimes you think as data something cold, logical, not something artistic. But if you see his work, you're gonna see that how amazing data is. And if you want to talk more or make comments, you can contact me in any of these places. Thank you. If you could came to the end of this presentation, I think it's a bit conversation I had with myself, and hope you like it. I will do more about it. Tips about writing, tips about painting, tips about living. I like to give tips from my experience. It's just tips. It's not advice, neither a rule or a ruler book or whatever. It's my experience put outside for to help people. I like to help people. See you. Bye bye.